On Spirit's landing day, JPL director Charles Elachi was playing host to VIPs scattered in buildings all across the laboratory.
So I was telling a group which are from Hollywood, this is a real thing. We cannot say cut, we cannot say we cannot say this is simulation. This is a real thing. So you are sharing with us exactly how exploration happens. You are going to see frustration, nervousness, excitement, jubilation, depending what we see when we open that door. You are going to see it with us in real time.
Elachi was a native of Lebanon who had earned his PhD at Caltech. His first job at JPL was as a summer student intern. He never worked anywhere else. The landings of Spirit and Opportunity would be a major test for him and for the lab. For the outcome of this night would set JPL's course for years to come.
We were coming from a very tough time, and it was a nervous time. And I knew what happened for Spirit is going to shape the future of JPL. Either people are going to say, if it fails, and here they crash another rover, I mean, that would have been decimating for JPL. And I knew if it's successful, people will say, wow, these guys came from that huge adversity and look what they have done. The tension was very high, personally and in the room.
There was another reason that made this an anxious moment. A year before, the space shuttle Columbia had disintegrated during re-entry, killing all 7 crew members. The landing of Spirit was the first major NASA event since that tragedy. The space agency's administrator, Sean O'Keefe, was counting on a win at Mars.
And Sean O'Keefe, who was sitting next to me, this is after Columbia. He kept looking at me and said, Charles, this is going to work, isn't it? It's going to work.
MGS is now on orbit 21,559, and we are ready to receive your EDL data.
Ed Weiler, NASA's Associate Administrator for Space Science, was also at JPL. And he never missed the opportunity to refer to Mars as the death planet.
There have been 34 attempts to go to Mars, 13 have been successes. It's an incredibly difficult place to land. Some have called it the death planet for good reason. It's going to be 6 minutes from hell. It's going to be high anxiety. I mean, we're working on this thing for 3 to 4 years. Success or failure is going to be determined in 6 minutes, 360 seconds.
Hi, Dan Whitcomb from Reuters. I'm just wondering if someone can speak to your general level of confidence or anxiety at this point, 8.5 hours out after this point in time.
You know, we've talked a lot about how we're sending a very complicated system into a perhaps unknown environment at incredible speeds. And so you may wonder why many of us here are sitting here smiling, as Pete pointed out yesterday. And actually, you know, I mean, right now, for some strange reason, I feel calm, you know, I feel ready. And I can only conclude that's because I don't have a full grasp of the situation. Today's a great day to land on Mars.
Copy that.
You're going through an event like that where everything that you worked for so many years is on the line. I mean, we had no control. We were spectators, just like the rest of the world.
Flight sequence powered on the airbag gas generator heaters. These gas generators are the solid rockets used to inflate the airbags near the surface of Mars.
Flight telecom.
Go telecom.
I think we see indications of the turn.
Copy that.
I worry that we've missed something. I worry about the thing not yet found. If it turns out that you've done something stupid, there's no forgiveness. There are a lot of poker chips on the table here. They're professional, they're personal, they're institutional.
Okay, all stations, we're going to go ahead and begin the poll at this time.
There's national poker chips. We cannot ignore where this happens to be in the history of NASA. All these years, this whole period of time to get to this moment will now be resolved.
One item that we are tracking now very carefully is the rate of change of the gas generator temperature. It is currently creeping at a rate that would be at the maximum temperature.
Copy that.
This report about the gas generator is unexpected. If the temperature continues rising, the airbags might overinflate or not fully inflate.
This is Adam.
Hey, it's Rob.
Copy that.
You heard that about the gas generators? Could you, they're running a little hot right now.
Rob Manning immediately seeks out Adam Stelzner, who is monitoring the landing with other members of the flight team in another building at JPL.
I'm trying to comb through it and finding it right now.
Stelzner knows the details of the airbags, literally inside and out.
Looks like they're going to be warmer than their flight level by about 5 degrees after soak back. So you don't have concerns for gas greenhouse preparing temperature?
We fired those at room temperature, plus 20 degrees, without any problem. So I think the assessment, let's give it a green. Yes, can you pass that along, sir?
I will pass that on. Okay, thank you very much.
Approximately 2 minutes, 30 seconds ago, the onboard flight
Based on previous testing done by the EDL team, it appears the rising temperature should not pose a problem for the airbags.
The thermal subsystem and the EDL team, the airbag engineers have also reported that the airbag gas generator temperatures are not going to be an issue. So that issue has been resolved. Currently, all systems are green for entry. Cruise stage jettison should occur in 2 minutes, 40 seconds.
You will be selected for a promotion because of your accomplishment. I'll take that.
Cruise state separation on my mark. 4, 3, 2, 1. And flight ace, we have subcarrier idle lock on both 70 meters.
Jettisoning the cruise stage, wow, the cruise stage is gone. And now we're just this ballistic thing entering the atmosphere. And the accelerations that we're getting reported back, wow, we're really 12,000 miles an hour going into the atmosphere.
Flight.
Go EDLCom.
We see Cartone 1 and Cartone 2.
In every key activity that was going on, we got these signals that they were actually going right.
All systems are go for entry, descent, and landing. And on behalf of the entry, descent, and landing team, it's been a pleasure having you guys on board. Best wishes for a successful science mission. This time we'd like to invite you to sit back and enjoy the landing.
Place your tray tables in the upright launch position.
We have just passed 1 minute to atmospheric entry, current altitude 121 miles, current velocity 12,084 miles per hour.
Flight detector flight tone 5, acceleration tone number 5, we're coming back down again.
Copy that. Expected parachute deploy in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark.
There it is.
At this time, we expect the vehicle has gone subsonic.
Parachute lift detected.
Flight nav. Go nav.
The one-way Doppler has stopped being received, indicating that the BVR is lost lock, which is consistent with parachute deploy having occurred a little bit later than the predicted parachute deploy time.
Copy that.
Heat shield deployed event.
Spacecraft reporting that heat shield has indeed jettisoned.
Lander separation event has been detected.
Reporting lander is separated. We expect that radar will lock on the ground in approximately 5 seconds from now. We are near our terminal velocity.
We have resolution 17. That is confirmation of radar in lock.
Spacecraft reporting that the radar is in lock and we have a good solution on the ground.
Radar is working.
Expected retro rocket ignition on my mark. At this point in time, we should be on the ground. We are now roughly 10 seconds from the latest expected landing time. There is a dispersion landing time of plus or minus 30 seconds. So roughly any signal that we receive from now indicates the vehicle would be alive, on the ground, and bouncing. Stand by. Still awaiting signal that we are on the ground.
We got 6 signs of bouncing on the surface.
We got a ring on the surface. The signal indicates we are bouncing on the surface of Mars. This is a very good sign.
Hang on, everybody. Please be quiet.
Stand by.
We don't see a signal at the moment. No signal at the moment.
We saw an intermittent signal that indicated we were bouncing. However, we currently do not have signal from the spacecraft. Remember that bouncing and rolling is an event that it could occur for another 10 minutes. The spacecraft has to survive all the bounces or landing be a success. This time we're approximately 10 minutes after landing. The vehicle should have rolled to a stop by now. The Deep Space Network stations at Goldstone and Canberra are still searching for the signal. The fact that a tone has not yet been received is not necessarily a cause for alarm, as during the bouncing and rolling event, it is extremely difficult to send signals back to Earth.
Look at that. It's stuff we had before. No, 3,900.
Rad ignition was at 3911.
All right, so it's like we got...
That was absolute agony. In fact, I was getting quite angry and frustrated with myself because I started thinking that maybe this thing had failed. And that maybe all this work was just a waste.
The Deep Space Network stations at Goldstone and Canberra are still searching for the signal.
You see it? There it is.
Goldstone has the carrier signal in lock from the rover. Electronic tone sent from the rover indicates that the rover has landed base pedal down, which means right side up.
The airbags are still inflated, however.
The news that the rover has landed base pedal down tops a string of successful events for Spirit. Now safe on the ground, the spacecraft is programmed to automatically execute a series of deployment events.
I've got your instruments to Mars, guys. Now the rest of it's up to you. Yeah, go do that. They're probably going crazy.
There's time now to breathe again and to engage in some reflection before Spirit's signals can again be heard.
I woke up this morning and I said to myself, when I wake up tomorrow on Sunday, the world will be different. And it really, really is. It's completely different. This is a tremendous day. And we've got many more steps to go before this mission is completely over, but we've retired an awful lot of risk with this landing. And we've got a good system, and we're alive on the surface, and that gives us real good hope, a harbinger of things to come, that we're going to be very, very successful here. I want to hand it over to a guy that's been on both the highs and the lows of this kind of business, and let him explain his feelings to you.
Thanks, Pete. I really, really like doing it when it works like this. About 7 years ago, I sat up on this stage with my friend here and talked about a similar set of experiences to what we've been through tonight, and it was a great experience. I think we were all young. I had a lot more hair then than I do now, but we didn't know what we couldn't do, and so we achieved a great thing. And in doing so, we learned what the highs of exploration are like. Well, 4 years ago, I think a lot of you saw me sitting up here sort of at the depths of exploration, or the depths of what it takes to make this happen. We're in this business of exploration for obviously moments like this. So, you know, I think that that's certainly what keeps me going and what makes this really a worthwhile endeavor.
If you were watching NASA TV earlier for Spirit's landing, you probably noticed we now have a bit of a change of scenery. Once the rover has landed on the surface of Mars, the Operation Mission Control switches over to the Surface Mission Support Area. This is the Surface MSA. And here is where the operation will stay, hopefully for the next 90 sols or 90 Martian days. With me right now is John Callis. He is the mission science chief. Pretty good entry, descent, and landing earlier tonight.
Fantastic evening, fantastic. We were safely on the surface of Mars. We had perfect targeting going in, and then the sequence of events as we went through this complicated and dangerous descent to the surface went right on plan. Oh!
And we hear something.
Something exciting.
Sounds to us
Oh, wow.
that
Oh, wow.
we're getting information.
We're getting pictures from Mars! The really exciting news is that if we have this pass with Odyssey, it means everything has gone perfectly on the surface. Even if we get one bit of data from Odyssey, it means all the critical deployments happen just as we had hoped they would. The rover is safe, it is healthy, and it's doing everything as we planned. Because of the sounds of the applause in the background, I think we're going to get very good news very shortly.
Welcome to Mars, Mr. Finelli.
And if we're lucky, we might have a postcard from Mars tonight.
Salt, this is Flight. Do you have real-time telemetry yet?
No, I didn't get it yet. I
coming
do
down.
see pre-landed step nominal mode.
You have images. Images coming down.
Wow! We got the first pictures from the surface of Mars. Look at this. Wow! We are on Mars.
That's looking down on our vehicle.
We're going to egress and then we're going to drive.
It's all good.
I mean, because we got the blind spot that we can't see anything under the solar rays, so we don't actually know what's there.